Good evening. My name is ENİS SİPAHİ. I was born in Kosovo, a small country in Europe. 6 years ago, I moved to Turkey, the country where my ancestry is from. I lived there for 5 years, and then I came here. There's nothing much I can tell you about myself, and I'm not going to burn your time talking about how great this year was or emphasize stuff just to make ourselves feel special. It's not that I know a lot, but I'm only going to express some of my thoughts to you. I'm also going to refrain from giving any kind of motivational speech because the meaning of the word success has changed. We all break our horns chasing success, but we don't see that what we chase has only become egoism, selfishness, and materialism. So, I do not hope you guys will be successful. I hope you guys will be people with values. The world that we are living in is not a good place. Believe me, it is actually a terrible place. We have come to a period of time where we can legitimately tell the librarians to move those dystopian books from the shelf of fiction to non-fiction. Just like we were warned, we have come to a period of time where we see man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. This world needs to change, and we are the ones who are going to change it. One of our more significant problems is money. I'm tired of hearing them say, if you are smart, you will get rich. This is foolish. If you are rich, that doesn't mean that you're smart. That just means your time is so worthless that you spend it running after some paper called money. Please, guys, before we decide to do something, let's ask ourselves, would I do this if money didn't exist? Enlightened people say that, depending on the chronological development of the humanity, we need at least 5 more centuries to understand that money is just illusion. It is not something that we are supposed to accumulate. It is something that we are meant to share. Well, if that's the indication, then we need to reshape our perception and do something differently, because we do not have that much time. Can you even imagine what would happen if we could just understand this thing? If we could devote ourselves to values which are eternal instead of fooling ourselves with worthless and temporary stuff. If we could do this, there would be no more pharmacists who kill people. There would be pharmacists who heal people. There would be no more entrepreneurs who deceive people. There will be entrepreneurs who try to help us. There will be no more businessmen who enslave people. There will be true philanthropists. There will be no more puppet politicians. There will be true leaders who genuinely seek how to serve humanity. There will be helpful, empathetic, generous, and diligent people out there. Instead of fighting this war that does not exist, we would only think about making this world a better place. I guarantee you the average IQ of the Earth would raise by at least 40 points. Despite of having only 4% of the whole population on the Earth, the US possesses more than 50% of all the money on the Earth. Nevertheless, there are more than 50 million people living in poverty in this country. And guys, I'm talking about the US. I'm not even mentioning the countries where children are starving to death. We have to realize what greed has done to us. We have to understand that we own only what we give. If everyone gave this much of their wealth, every single human being on this earth would live on prosperity. Let's not be slaves to the raving people who are playing Monopoly. Let's understand what's going on. What I'm trying to say is we are not taking not even 5 cents to the graveyard with us. So why bother, for God's sake? If you think that the world is not that bad, I'm sorry, but you definitely lack awareness. The earth is pouring blood. There are sick, maniacal, cruel people out there who feed themselves with blood. Their war is not meant to be won. Their war is meant to be continuous. They are not the ones that they show on the news. They wear suits. There is literally a war going on in front of our eyes. Why are we ignoring this? Why do we act like everything is okay? What is wrong with us? It is grievous to see how we follow sports religiously, but ignore how the mournings of the oppressed have filled the skies. Don't forget that gladiators were created to entertain the public, but the real purpose was to distract the masses from the crises in the empire. There are innocent people, there are children, there are babies dying every day. I'm going to repeat this. There are babies dying. Now, of course, none of us wants this, but the question is, how many of us are doing something about it? Don't tell me this is not your job. If you really try to see what's going on, you will understand that this is no one's but our job to do. We, the youth, we have a tremendous role and an immense impact on this earth. we are the ones shaping the future. Our generation needs to do something extraordinary. The current education system is pathetic. So, no matter what you do, no matter where you get that diploma from, never isolate your education with anything. I'm also tired of hearing them say, come on, think outside the box. We do not have to think outside the box. We just have to realize that there is no box at all. I assure you, this system will change very soon. Also, know that there are storms coming to this quiet ocean that turn the red from the blood. The first advice we were given is to read. We have to read, folks. We have to read a lot. It's a great pity to see dusty books in the library. The only way to find ourselves is to search, and we search by learning. So tell me, how can a soul live if it's never found? And don't forget that the greatest tragedy is to live a life and not witness the depth of the soul. Remember what happened to Rumi. He was living on the lip of insanity, wanting to know reasons, knocking on God's door. The door opened. He realized he was knocking from the inside. Thank you.